Hello, I'm Chris.
And I'm Stacy.
And we are the Enchanted Reading Specialists coming to you from the Big Conscious Couch.
Today we want to talk a little bit about
unaccompanied company.
Thank you. I knew I was going to have a tongue twister with that one. Unaccompanied company. So a lot of times we have people when they find out what we do and that we connect with spirit, and on the other side they'll say, is there anyone around me right now? So
yes,
the short answer is yes. There, we could be done with this little tutorial right now. Yeah, we want to just come to you and say, yes, there's always a spirit with you.
You are never alone.
No, you have spirit guide that is like attached to you from birth, that is there to guide you on your path and keep kind of pulling you and showing you signs that will pull you back onto your path. Of course, your free will has the ability to take that path or not. And we've all been at times in our life when we chose not to listen.
And then life gets very difficult.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is a whole nother segment.
Yeah, we'll get into following the messages from spirit guides in another segment. But for right now, just to let people know like who's with them. Yes, always have your spirit guide that's with you for life. Your spirit guide is not like a past loved one, right? So a lot of times they'll say, well, is my grandpa my spirit guide? Well, your grandpa is with you, but they were alive or whatever when you were born. They're not your immediate family. I think
soul family.
Yeah, I like to kind of describe, I think, spirit guides as like they are always in the spirit world. Most like they don't necessarily come and live a full human life.
They don't go to a meat suit,
right?
Right. As one of our friends likes to charmingly call it.
Yeah, the meat suit.
The meat suit. Yeah.
That's not very appealing to
no, it's
most
not.
of us. But,
no.
Yeah. So they live in that realm. They are, some people might choose to call them like guardian angels. What else have we heard them be called?
Spirit guides. The thing is that you have one that's assigned to you from birth, but then you have other ones that come in and out of your life as needed, right? So there's one that stays with you your whole life, and then there's other spirit guides that will come in and out depending on the circumstances. They might stay for quite a few years. They might stay for just a week or two, or they might stay for a couple of months, just depending on what's going on in your life. So as we said, when life gets difficult, it's because you weren't listening or you aren't on your soul's purpose for this lifetime, and your spirit guide is trying to sometimes gently and sometimes yank you over onto the path that you are supposed to live. So that's, when people come to us and say, is there anyone around me now? Yes. You always have your one spirit guide that is assigned at birth, but you could have several spirit guides that are with you at a time. And you also have your past loved ones that are around you always, just checking in, keeping an eye on you. And, people always say, well, can I talk to them? Can they hear me?
Right. Will you tell them something? It's like, well, you can tell them anything you want to. They're always there. Anytime you want to connect with them, all you have to do is really just think about them, and they're always there, just willing to listen and hear. And what we describe to our clients is that being on the other side, they're able to be in so many places at once. So they're like, well, I don't know, my sister's having a really hard time, so I figured our dad was has been staying with her, and I've just been like missing his absence. I've been feeling his absence. Like, no, it's not, it doesn't work like that on the other side. Like, he can be with your sister and with you. Like, the way that works is not
magical,
singularly. Yeah.
Right. It's magic. It's spiritual magic.
Yeah. And it's hard for some people to wrap their brain around it, but I think maybe less so for people that have subscribed to like a god or some type of religious believing that there's a presence that's everywhere, and that's kind of how this spirit works. Spiritual so whether it's someone that you lost, that you loved, that's on the other side, all you have to do is think about them. They'll be there. They can hear your thoughts.
All of them?
Talked.
That could be
Well,
scary.
That's true. Some people can get scared off by that. Like, oh, well, do they see me in the shower?
They don't care.
The meat suit does not impress the soul. You know, the spirit world does not care what you are doing. That makes me think of, I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but, you know, when we will have clients that have lost like a spouse or someone that, you know, they were
very close to.
Right, in a relationship
connected.
with. And the fear of being intimate with someone else because their past loved one might
check
see
in
that.
and see that, yeah.
Freaks them out.
But that's not how the soul operates. In fact, a lot of times what's very beautiful about living in the soul realm is that that soul actually sometimes chooses the next partner for that person. So yeah, it's they don't once they leave the human experience, they're total soul experience. It's not a human experience for them anymore. So the things that you worry about as the human experience, the soul doesn't really care about. It's way above and high vibration from that. So it's okay to let all of that go. It's all good.
And if you really had a soul connection, what that spirit now wants for you, they loved you soul to soul, is they want you to be happy.
Right.
So like Chris said, they will oftentimes kind of line up the next partner because they want you to be fulfilled and experience everything that, you know, life has to offer, even if they're not part of that and the earthly meat suit anymore. They are taking part of it, and that it makes them happy on the other side to see you happy.
Right.
When you are, you know, in the depths of despair, I guess, from the loss of a loved one, they feel that too. Right. They know where you're at, and they want healing for you.
So your soul's purpose is really to have the best experience possible, and that's what your spirit guides are here to do. We also get questions, Stacey. Is my spirit guide an animal? Is it a you know, other being? Yes. The short answer is yes, and right.
Yeah, it can be any of those things, you know, and really, I think our experience has been whatever the client identifies closest with is how that will appear to us. So if it's someone who believes in angels, it may be an angel. If it is someone who feels more protected by a dragon, then we'll see a dragon.
Or as spirit animals.
Yep.
Bears come through quite often if people are thinking about that. Yep. And subscribe to that.
So yeah, how they come across for us to tap into the energy or to see really is more of how that client identifies with spirit and what comforts them, because spirit in itself, I don't believe anyway, you know, that it really has like
a shape or form,
even, you know, of like, oh, I want to look like this.
I'm just telling you, when I cross on the other side, it's going to be glam. It's going to be totally glamorous. That's how I'm going to come through to people, just so you know.
Fancy Nancy.
Fancy Nancy. Yep, right here.
Feather boas and all the glitz and glam.
Rhinestones, glitter. Yep.
I see that. They could choose, just like it's fun sometimes, like when they come through to us, if they choose to show us something, it may be like their younger self. So if it was someone who died, you know, when they were in their 90s, they may not choose to come through as that person. They may choose to come through as, you know, the 40-year-old mother, because that's how the person might remember them best.
Right.
Or they want to bring back a memory, and it's like we can see what happened when they were 10 years old. So they can kind of pick and choose how they are, how they are seen. And often it's just usually to make sure that the client recognizes them.
Right. And wants them to know that they're safe and protected. Yeah. So it's mostly about being safe and protected. You always are by your spirit guides. And did you know you can talk to them? So call them in every morning. Call them in.
Don't forget that. That is hard. Even well, yes, for us. I was going to say just for me, but you too. But, I'll forget sometimes and be struggling with something. And Chris will remind me, she's like, well, did you call your spirit guides in to help with that? I'm like, oh, man. Like, we're so programmed on earth to
handle it. Just handle it. Suck it up and handle it. You'll be fine.
Do it yourself. You don't need help. You don't need... And
spirit guides are like, oh, aren't they cute? Isn't that cute? Wonder when they'll ask for help.
And they wait for that too.
They do.
Because they
won't
they
interfere.
will lead, they'll show you signs, they'll be like, hey, over here, do this or ask for help. But they don't interfere.
No.
I mean, it's our free will. So, but if we ask for their help, they are Johnny on the spot. Just to recognize though that sometimes they know better than us. So even if we are like, oh, please, let this thing happen for me. I want this to happen. They're not genies
not
in
your
a bottle.
highest good. It's not your highest good, so it's not going to happen.
So you have to be open to taking the guidance, listening and watching. And sometimes the guidance seems like it's not a direction you want to go, or it's tough. And you're like, well, why do I want to deal with that?
And that's a whole nother segment. So thanks for joining us today.
From the Conscious Couch, we are the Enchanted Reading Specialists.
And we are coaching consciousness.
One soul at a time.
Woohoo.